Today marked the 16th anniversary of the September 11th attacks in 2001, in which we lost thousands of lives. And President Trump gave a speech at the 9/11 National Memorial at the Pentagon. And I would assess the address that he gave as in a very favorable light. He spoke about never forgetting those who were lost, and it seemed to me on a rhetorical level to be very satisfactory. And I started noticing a running trend, which is that whenever Trump has a teleprompter, his addresses typically are without controversy. Obviously, during the inaugural address, he was criticized by Matthews of MSNBC as having a Hitlerian theme to his statements. But aside from that, there was little fanfare. Um, and the other thing to kind of take away from today with these ceremonies commemorating this is that I don't see why we can't just live in a world where people don't have this overriding sense of, I am left on the political spectrum, I am right on the political spectrum, I am Caucasian, African American, Hispanic, Indian. It felt to me that this was one of the few events where Americans and just individuals that live within this country could come together and have that unified view of, yeah, that was a horrible day, that was terrible, I lost somebody I cared about. It never seems to come to that point other than when there's some disaster, whether it be a terrorist attack on that scale, because even when we had the Orlando nightclub shooting last year, it came down to guns versus, pro guns versus anti guns, and just turned into this big political debate about how we respond to this or if we don't respond to it. It's pretty much that way for, I'd like to suggest, every terrorist attack and or domestic attack that we've seen within the last 20 years, other than 9/11, because of the mass scale and just so many lives being, extinguished over just nonsense. But one bigger thing to take away from all of this is that when you think of that event, you think of all the various people who lost their lives, and it reminds you of why well, in particular me anyway, it gives me this sense of, here I am, doing my own various things that I typically do. And, you'll have some person come on here and call me a name. You'll have some person saying to do this to appease them within the context of real life. You will have individuals that will, as far as you can tell, try to steer you in one direction or live your life to appease them. And this is part of what troubles me the most. Within moments, minutes, seconds, you can be gone. And do you really want to spend some large portion of your life being so worried and caught up about what other people think of you? And just, there's a finality or a fatality with this that underscores this theme of life is too short. Because people who left their homes that they didn't know was going to be, their final hours or just their last circumstance. I don't know, maybe I'm speaking on deaf ears, but I really just, if there's one good thing that came out of that, because we try to find good things in tragedy. Obviously, with the Kennedy assassination, at the very least now we don't have presidents riding in motorcades with the top down. Just on that nature of a bad thing happens, good thing comes out of it. So if one good thing came out of that event, at least we have a day where, for the most part, people can throw away the politics of and various differences and just come together over something that is, I think, very good, which is memorializing and remembering good, individuals who were productive members of society for the most part. You obviously had the terrorists involved who passed away, but we're not remembering them. We're remembering the people who also were caught up in that went to work every day, that went to school every day, that put a smile on the face of a relative, of a friend. Just any reason for them to have been a joy within their lifetime is recalled on that day. And that's one good thing that came out of that.